Big Ed here. Today I'm bringing you a Remington product. Inside of this case is a Remington R1. And yes, I think unboxings are cheesy, but I bought this gun without the intentions of shooting it, so please bear with me. Remington, as most of you folks know, has declared bankruptcy and probably is going to get sold off to the highest bidders, and it's in the process right now. I'm a big fan of Remington. It was the first hunting shotgun I inherited from my father when he had passed away, was a Remington 1100. It's got a soft spot in my heart, and I like Remington projects. I'm a big fan of the Remington 700 and so on. Also, Remington 870s. I own two of them. One of them was also my father's. So when I saw that, I realized I wanted a Remington and I wanted the Centennial edition. So I looked on Gunbroker and I found a guy in upstate New York that had one for sale for a good price, and I went ahead and I bought it. Had it delivered to Bates and Barrels up in Riverhead, and I picked it up a few weeks ago, and I have it in this case right now. And I have no intentions of shooting this. If you folks want me to shoot it, go ahead, post it in the comments below, and if enough people want me to, I will go ahead and I will shoot it. Probably not. The reason that I do not want to shoot it is because this is an investment firearm. I'm going to put it in my safe, I'm going to hold on to it, and probably pass it down sometime when I'm old. And I also have a Springfield 1911 in 45 that works perfectly fine. And I also have the Kimber 10mm that's working a lot better than it used to. I've got this right now. So let's go ahead and we'll open it up and kind of tell you what came in this box right here, because it's a little better than your average 1911. So we've basically got, congratulations, the Remington 1911 R1 Centennial pistol you now possess is worthy of their 100-year legacy of excellence, blah, 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 blah. So there's my receipt from Big Gary's Gun Shop, and yeah, free platinum service plan. And there's the owner's manual right now. So this 1911 came with 2 magazines. It also came with this right here, and this is pretty cool. This is basically a Leatherman right there that it came with, and it's a pretty big Leatherman with this nice kind of, so that is the 1911 right there, and it is quite a nice gun. So we will go ahead, we'll check that it's unloaded. It's unloaded, we've got a magazine in there. Yeah, so on the side of this 1911, and I'll give you some close-ups in a minute, it says Centennial 1911 to 2011, 1911 R1, and it's got some nice scrolling on it on the side of the slide. So and it looks like the grips have been upgraded. Also, the front sight has a nice little brass piece in it, and the rear sights, and they're definitely removable so they can slide in and out. But besides that, I'm going to say it's probably a pretty stock 1911. So when I first got it, I looked at it, and you know, I'd already paid for it, and I picked it up at Bates and Barrels in Riverhead, and I went to rack the slide on it, and it was sticking up front, and it didn't go all the way into battery. It kind of stopped. See if I can get it to do it. Yeah, there it goes. It stopped right there, and just required a little bit of more force than it did now to get the slide to go all the way. So I'm like, ooh, I wonder if this is a defective gun. And so I took it home, I cleaned it, now it's a lot better. And basically it just comes down to the bushing and barrel fit. The bushing is really tight on this. And from the reviews I read and watched on this pistol, you know, it's not, there's some min parts in here. I know a lot of guys poo-poo those, but basically everybody said that the sum of the parts for this pistol were excellent and that it was a very good pistol. And you know, it was well made, and it was, you know, all made by Remington in Ilion, New York. And for the price point, that you couldn't go wrong with this thing. And it does look pretty nice to me, and the fit and finish is pretty good. You know, it doesn't have a ton of features on it, but it's a nice gun, and it's a nice piece of history. And you know, it's their Remington's 100-year anniversary edition of the 1911, you know, which they made back, you know, in World War II, and they did have some, you know, 1911s in service. So that's definitely on the cooler side of things, and I'm happy to own it. And then the magazines they're pretty standard, you know, just black steel magazines. It says 7 rounds, 7 or 8 rounds, whatever. But, you know, there obviously you can get plenty of other mags for this. But also the nice thing are the grips. The grips are definitely wood on here, but they're definitely above and beyond. So it's definitely a nice pistol and a nice collector's piece. And, you know, I'm sorry to see Remington declare bankruptcy, but it sounds like, you know, they just can't escape that lawsuit from up in Connecticut. You know, I believe it's with Bushmaster that's just tearing them apart. And the government's not much help to, you know, to helping one of America's oldest gun manufacturers, you know, that a hunk of metal and plastic is the problem in society. So I'll go ahead and I'll focus the camera and we'll get the camera back on the R1 Centennial edition, and I'll try to give you some nice close-ups on this bugger. So there we go, there's a good close-up. Hopefully that's nicely in focus. You know, you can see the scrolling on it, you know, the front and the back of the slide, which is very nice, the nice wood grips on it. Give it a flip it over. You know, nice scrolling there. You can see Centennial Edition, 1911 to 2011, 1911 R1, Ilion, New York. And so this is a real nice keepsake, and I'm really happy that I bought this. You can see the barrel bushing right there, how tight that is. That's an excellent fit, very cool. You can also take a look at the Leatherman tool since I have it out. But as you see, I haven't even unwrapped it. But yeah, I mean, it's a Leatherman tool. You can see it's big, it's bulky, but that's fine. I'm not a big fan of these big ones because all they're going to do is rip holes in your pocket. That's why they give you a case and one of these wet, you know, straps in the back where you can hook it up to like a vest or something in that nature. But it's a nice addition. But folks, if you like this video, you know, feel free to give me a thumbs up, and if you know you'd like me to see me shoot this thing, definitely let me know. But this is the first gun that I've ever purchased that I do not plan to shoot. You know, we'll see what everybody says. But folks, thanks for watching. Appreciate it.